Meet Debbie Mullen. To her neighbors in Hingham, Massachusetts, she is the model of suburban stability, tending her award-winning roses with obsessive care. But the order she maintains is deeply calculating. Debbie is an MIT dropout with a 178 IQ. MIT is the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, a world-leading research university. Instead of finishing her degree, she stayed home and used her coding skills to build a tracking app called Findly, which she uses to monitor the GPS location of her husband and 2 teenage daughters in real time. She spends her spare time writing the Dear Debbie advice column for a local paper. For years, she has functioned as an emotional sponge for the community, absorbing the trauma and complaints of every local woman neglected or belittled by their husbands. Her entire life, from the family she tracks to the column she writes, is a managed facade. It's a closed system designed to keep chaos on the outside. That system collapses during one 24-hour window where the walls of her life cave in. Her gardening photo shoot is stolen by a neighbor. Her boss at the newspaper fires her for advising a reader to leave an abusive marriage. Her husband Cooper secretly loses his job at his accounting firm. Her youngest daughter is cut from the soccer team by a cruel coach, and her oldest daughter is being manipulated by a toxic boyfriend named Zane. Debbie decides she is done being reasonable. She chooses to follow her own most extreme advice: either solve the problem or kill it. Debbie begins using her Dear Debbie column as a rubric for a new, ruthless methodology. For her spotlight-stealing neighbor, Debbie devises a Japanese beetle infestation. She exposes the body-shaming soccer coach with hidden cameras. She drugs her daughter's boyfriend and orchestrates a car crash. Finally, she ensures her husband's firing is met with a lethal response. Cold, steady. These are not emotional outbursts. Debbie is a genius, patching bugs in the code of her life with algorithmic efficiency. To understand why Debbie is capable of this remorseless compartmentalization, we have to look at the origin of her need for absolute control. During her second semester at MIT, Debbie was drugged and sexually assaulted at a fraternity party by a man named Hutch. Hutch was never punished. That unaddressed trauma shifted her worldview, convincing her that she had to use her intellect to build a fortress around herself and her family. This extreme mama bear instinct is a weaponized trauma response. The final threat emerges when Debbie suspects her husband Cooper is having an affair with her gym friend Harley. Debbie arrives at Harley's house in the middle of the night, bringing a gun to enact her final solution. Inside the house, she finds Harley with a man, but it isn't Cooper. It's Jesse, Cooper's coworker, who has been using Cooper's identity to conduct the affair. Cooper's actual secret was far more mundane. He was attending Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. Jesse is Harley's lover and Cooper's coworker. But most importantly, Jesse is actually Hutch, the man who assaulted Debbie decades ago. Debbie's original abuser has unknowingly wandered into the center of a web built by the woman he helped create. Debbie improvises. She shoots Harley and uses a tainted water bottle to drug Jesse into unconsciousness. She places the gun in Jesse's hand, framing him for Harley's death and the earlier murder of Ken Bryant. Cooper arrives at the house just as Debbie pulls the trigger one final time to solidify the frame-up. He is forced to look at his wife and realize she is a lethal strategist. 1 year later, Debbie has successfully sold her family tracking app. Jesse is in prison for the murders, where he is eventually killed by another inmate. The story of Dear Debbie suggests that karma is not a natural law. Sometimes it requires a genius intellect and the willingness to pull the trigger yourself.